Welcome back. We've tried reaching out to the Biden campaign and have not yet heard back. We've also contacted our local Democratic Party and are waiting for a response. In the meantime, we'd like to welcome back Jade Simmons, who is running as an independent in the 2020 presidential race. It's good to see you again, Jade.
Thank you so much for having me back, Leyla. I really appreciate it.
So to say that this is a contentious race would be an understatement. You were taking a different path as an independent. So how has your campaign been going so far?
Well, it doesn't excuse me from all the contention. I will say that. What the freedom of running as an independent is that it allows me to really be able to speak my mind. I get to speak to anyone, any side of the political spectrum that I want, because I really want to serve as a president for all. So the response we've been getting is really powerful. We're just now getting some mainstream media breakthrough, the same way you haven't heard back from Democrats and Republicans. We see that same kind of shutout here, which is why I say I'm so appreciative to be back. You're one of the first to cover this story when it broke, and we're seeing some incredible traction now, so we're excited.
You just recently got back home. You were in North Carolina, spreading the word, as it were. So when you are campaigning as an independent, are you trying to relay a message that you can both get support from both parties? Because we live in a country that kind of identifies themselves as one of two things, more or less. So do you find that you align yourself with anything in particular about the Republican Party and align yourself with anything in particular about the Democratic Party in order to gain votes and interest?
You know, what we determined setting out is that nothing we would put out or say would be designed to cater to one side or the other. We determined that, and this is Operation Restoration, which is the movement that powers my campaign, we were just going to speak freely in a way that proposed solutions that served as many Americans as possible. And what we're finding, Leyla, is what we suspected. Even though the polarization is rampant when we look at what we see presented to us in the media, in reality, most Americans can have nuanced conversations. Most of us love and live with people who don't agree on every issue. So we found that coming from a place of honor, being able to have difficult conversations about some of the most divisive issues, but deciding that we are looking now in that conversation for uncommon common ground, people are breathing a sigh of relief because they're going, wait a minute, I feel like that more than I align with one side or the other. And I think what's happening in these times is people are looking up at the two options that it seems like we have. This is going to be unusual for me to say, but there is another candidate, Joe Jorgensen with the Libertarian Party, who's also running. And I say that because I believe that in a true democracy, you've got to have multiple options, and you want to be able to take your time and see who really represents you. So we're finding Americans who are excited to not have to choose what they feel like is a lesser of two evil. And they feel like they're finally choosing someone who's looking to represent them powerfully. And so they're passionate, they're getting excited, and it keeps us going as well.
Let's talk about some of the issues that you're behind. So Operation Restoration, what would you say are the three top issues that you're campaigning on right now?
Yeah, you know what we are seeing is the exhaustion and the fatigue from the division that you're talking about. So people are excited to see someone who's saying, look, we're prioritizing people every single time over politics. That's kind of been the base for everything we do. This is also an era that requires access to opportunity for everyone. No president, no politician can guarantee the outcome. But what I feel like my role is to guarantee that every person, no matter their socioeconomic status, has access to opportunity. So you'll see us talk a lot about creating a more humane economy, a producer nation coming out of COVID-19. Now we're going to have to come up with more jobs. It's not going to be enough to just say go back to work, because some of those very jobs no longer exist. You're going to see new industries that need to be created. I call one of them pandemic proofing. That's now going to have to be an ongoing new industry. We get to reemploy many people who lost their livelihoods during COVID-19 if we look at how to pandemic proof powerfully. So you'll see me talking a lot about the economy and a lot about race relations. I think now we're going to have to spend a good bit of time building in ways to have systemic success in order to counter the systemic injustices we've seen over the years. I think the focus now has to be on what is the way to create breakthrough for Black Americans. And that's not a racist thing to say. We now need to single out groups that have been historically underserved and provide specific solutions. So you'll see Operation Restoration 2020.com. We have plans that are called Shades of Breakthrough. And we have breakthrough plans for Black Americans, as well as immigrants, Native Americans, small business owners, the mental health awareness. We have to get specific now. And so I think that what Black Americans especially want, we don't want symbolism. We don't want raised fists. We don't want to see you kneeling in kente cloth. We don't even just want statues coming down. What there has to be now is true reform in education, in the economic system, and in the criminal justice system. And those are the very specific things that we are proposing.
Perfect. And I want to talk just briefly, if you can give us the time and where people can find your Faith and Leadership virtual event.
That's right. So this coming Saturday, we'll be live on Facebook at Operation Restoration 2020, and we'll be talking about the role of faith and leadership. We talked about that term hijacked. I am an open Christian. I'm proud of my faith, but I believe it's now time for Americans to see a different model of what faith and leadership looks like. And so we're excited to do that this coming Saturday.
Jade, thank you so much for sharing with us. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you for having me back.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We're back after this.